Good morning. I'm Linda Forte, Chair of the Michigan Gaming Control Board. We do have a quorum this morning to proceed with today's meeting to decide various matters listed on the agenda. Anyone wishing to address the board must fill out a request form, which is available at the reception desk outside of the hearing room entrance. First, we'll consider approval of the meeting minutes of the board's regular public meeting held on December 12, 2023. Board members have been provided a copy of the prepared minutes of the board's last public meeting held on December 12, 2023 for review prior to today's meeting. Do members have any corrections, additions, or revisions to the prepared minutes? Board Member Thor Davis, may we please have a motion to adopt the prepared minutes?
So moved.
Is there support?
Support.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion is approved. We'll now move on to the Executive Director's report. Mr. Williams.
Good morning, board members, and Happy New Year. First, I'd like to congratulate Board Member Andy Palms and Board Member Joni Thor Davis on a reappointment to the Michigan Gaming Control Board with their term expiring December 31st of 2027. So congratulations to both of you. I'd like to thank you all for continuing to serve here on the board. And of course, I would like to congratulate the Michigan Wolverines on their championship victory. The board has received a written version of my report for review, so I will summarize my report. In the board packets provided to you for this meeting, there's a revenue packet for your review. In addition, a press release containing a detailed revenue report will be released at the conclusion of this meeting for the public. Since the board's last regular meeting, the following notable board-related activities and events have occurred. Staffing. The Michigan Gaming Control Board has hired 2 new employees, and 2 employees have resigned their positions. The Gaming Control Board currently has 176 employees and 25 vacant positions. Ongoing efforts to fill the board's 25 vacant positions will continue until all the positions are filled. Are the 2 new board employees present today? Stand up, please. Welcome. Yes, thank you. A roster of the board's current staff, including the state police and attorney general staff assigned to assist the board in carrying out its statutory duties and responsibilities under the Michigan Gaming Control and Revenue Act, as amended, is included in your packet for your reference as attachment 1. Budget. As of December 31st, 2023, total MGCB expenditures were $5,474,000. This leaves an unexpended balance of $37,911,900 in appropriated funding for fiscal year 2024. This includes funds for anticipated reimbursement to the Attorney General and State Police for requested assistance. Occupational licensing. Since the board's December 12, 2023 meeting, the employee licensing section completed the required background investigations of 150 pending level 1 and level 2 occupational license applications. 36 level 3 license applications and 242 license renewal requests have already been approved prior to this meeting. The remaining recommendations regarding 150 pending level 1 and level 2 occupational license applicants will be considered by the board as part of its business agenda for today's meeting. Disassociated persons list. Currently, we have 4,128 individuals on the disassociated persons list. Waiver of criminal convictions. Since our last meeting, there's been 2 waivers issued. Minor citations. Since our last meeting, no minors and casino citations have been issued. Michigan State Police. In the report you have in front of you, there's a section on the activities of the state police, as well as their number of open positions. Since the information includes confidential investigations of persons and crimes at the casinos, I am not going to address in the public forum, but please review at your convenience. In closing, I would like to remind everyone that gambling in any form is for entertainment purposes only. If you or a loved one have a gambling problem, please call the state's 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-800-270-7117 for assistance with treatment only. You also may visit our website at www.michigan.gov/MGCB for information on self-exclusion programs, including this disassociated persons list, and the Internet Gaming and Sports Betting Responsible Gaming database, or call the Michigan Gaming Control Board's Responsible Gaming section at 1-888-223-3044. In addition, you may visit www.don'tregretthebet.org for more responsible gaming tips. Madam Chair, that concludes my report, and I'm available to answer any questions the board may have.
Williams, do board members have any questions? No? Thank you for that very complete report. We'll now move into the business portion of our meeting. The first item of business is to consider the Executive Directors and Casino Operations Division's recommendation regarding Level 1 and Level 2 occupational license applications. The board's employee licensing staff has completed the background investigations of 150 Level 1 and Level 2 occupational license applicants since the board's last regular meeting. All board members have been provided a copy of Exhibit 1, which summarizes the staff's recommendations to grant applications for the reasons specified in the related background investigation report. Are there any questions? Board Member Palms, may we please have a motion to approve the occupational license applications as listed and recommended in Exhibit 1?
So moved.
Is there support?
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion has passed, and orders will be issued accordingly. The next item is consideration of the Executive Director's reports and Licensing and Investigations Division's recommendations regarding the pending supplier license requests of Global Promotional Sourcing, LLC, DBA Proforma GPS, In2Grow Technologies, LLC, DBA ITG, I2G Systems, Lower Huron Chemical and Supply Company, Inc., Score Media and Gaming, Inc., DBA The Score. Each board member has been provided copies of the reports for review prior to today's meeting, and each applicant was given notice that the board would consider its supplier license request at today's meeting. Board staff is present to answer any questions board members may have regarding the request. Are there any questions? Board Member Thor Davis, may we please have a motion to approve the supplier license applications as recommended?
So moved.
Is there support?
Support.
Thank you. It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion has passed, and orders will be issued accordingly. The next item is consideration of the Executive Director's reports and Licensing and Investigations Division's recommendations regarding the pending supplier license renewal request of MicroWise, Inc., with new key persons Sahil Jaggi, TCS John Huxley America, Inc. Each board member has been provided with copies of the reports for review prior to today's meeting, and each applicant was given notice that the board would consider its supplier license renewal request at today's meeting. Board staff is present to answer any questions board members may have regarding the request. Are there any questions? Board Member Palms, may we please have a motion to approve the supplier license renewals as recommended?
So moved.
Is there support for the motion?
Support.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is passed, and orders will be issued accordingly. The next item is consideration of the Executive Director's report and Licensing and Investigations Division's recommendations regarding the pending request for approval of new key persons of supplier licensee Authentic Gaming Limited with new key person Siobhan Margaret Lane, Bet MGM LLC DBA Roar Digital, with new key person Simon Grigorovich Zinger, L&W Gaming Inc., with new key person Siobhan Margaret Lane, Oryx Gaming International LLC DBA Oryx Gaming, with new key persons Donald Robertson and Aaron Barry Yosef, Playsito Limited with new key persons Siobhan Margaret Lane, Spectate Limited with new key person Gavin Robert Ahern, Spin Games LLC with new key persons Donald Robertson and Aaron Barry Yosef, Stadium Technology Group LLC with new key person Simon Grigorovich Zinger. Each board member has been provided with copies of the reports for review prior to today's meeting, and each applicant was given notice that the board would consider its request at today's meeting. Board staff is present to answer any questions board members may have regarding the request. Are there any questions? Board Member Thrower Davis, may we please have a motion to approve the applications for new key persons as recommended?
So moved.
Is there support for the motion?
Support.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion has passed and orders will be issued accordingly. The next item is consideration of the acknowledgement of violation of casino licensee MGM Grand Detroit LLC DBA MGM Grand Detroit Casino. Each member has been provided with copies of the reports for review prior to today's meeting, and each applicant was given notice that the board would consider its request at today's meeting. Board staff is present to answer any questions board members may have regarding the request. Are there any questions? Board Member Palms, may we please have a motion to accept the acknowledgement of violation?
So moved.
Is there support for the motion?
Support.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion has passed, and an order will be issued accordingly. The next item is consideration of the Executive Director's and Casino Operations Division's recommendation regarding Level 2 occupational license application of Jalen Lee. Each board member has been provided with a copy of the board's employee licensing staff's investigative report recommending the denial of this application for a Level 2 occupational license for review prior to today's meeting, and the applicant was given notice the board would consider the investigative report regarding the application for a Level 2 occupational license at today's meeting. Assistant Attorney General Kelly McGuire will briefly summarize the facts involved. Good morning.
Here.
Same to you.
Thank you. This is an application for a Level 2 occupational license that's before the board this morning. The Michigan Gaming Control and Revenue Act allows the board to investigate applicants and determine eligibility for licenses. A licensing investigation was conducted here, and it was discovered that the applicant was terminated from his employment at MGM Grand after he was observed removing money from the casino's count room and leaving the casino. The background investigation was completed, and the executive director reported the findings to the board. In accordance with Administrative Rule 432.1338, subsection 1, this application is now before the board for consideration and action. MCL 432.2086I allows the board to deny an occupational license to a person if the board concludes that the applicant lacks the requisite suitability as to integrity, moral character, and reputation, personal probity, financial ability and experience, or responsibility. Based on the findings from the licensing investigation, board staff and the executive director have recommended that this application be denied. As such, we are asking today that the board enter an order denying this application for a Level 2 occupational license. And just to note, this applicant was issued and was working on a temporary license, but this denial would cause the applicant's temporary license to expire, and the applicant would be prohibited from performing any duties requiring that license.
Thank you. Is Mr. Lee or his representative present or on the call and wishing to address the board? If so, please come forward and identify yourself for the record. I'd like the record to reflect that neither the applicant or a representative is present. Are there any questions from board members? Board Member Thor Davis, may we please have a motion to deny the application for a Level 2 occupational license?
So moved.
Is there support for the motion?
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion has passed and an order will be issued accordingly. Thank you. Is there any other business to come before the board? Not, we'll move into public comment, and we're now at the point in the board's meeting where members of the public may come forward and offer comments regarding the business of the board. I'd like to ask Anne Marie Coble if we've received any requests.
We have received one public comment request from a Mary Ann Adams.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Ms. Adams?
My name is Mary Ann Adams. I am a lifelong resident of Michigan, growing up in the city of Detroit, working here nearly my entire career, most recently retiring from a 20-year career at General Motors, managing OnStar's response to disasters across North America to keep customers out of harm's way while responding to their urgent needs. I currently reside in Plymouth Township. Because of the time limits, I have copies of my comments for the board, which I request be made a part of the meeting record. Frankly, this is not how I would have predicted my career would transition from General Motors, as I want to get on with my career, continuing to apply my skills in emergency and disaster management. Simply put, I would rather not be here today, but I am representing a significant number of residents of my township. I find myself transferring my sense of civic responsibility, which is why I'm here today, because of an issue of great importance to me, certainly to many residents in my community, and to the citizens of Michigan. This board is charged with ensuring that the conduct of fair and honest gaming protects the interest of the citizens of the state of Michigan, which is why I decided to come forth today. As you know, it has been over a year since property has been purchased in Plymouth Township for Northville Downs to relocate their gaming facility, which is why I decided to come here. This property is just over 1 mile from my home. Unfortunately, even though this is not on your agenda, I urge you to take up the following matter for immediate review and action. At the December 7th Horse Racing Advisory Commission meeting, it was reported that Northville Downs is going to be moving full steam ahead on building their new racetrack. In fact, they are hoping for a January vote by the Plymouth Township Board on the Community Benefits Agreement and indicated they will receive approval. Minutes from the December 7th meeting, nor the October meeting for the Horse Racing Advisory Commission have yet to be published. It is already January 9th. This vote is not on tonight's Plymouth Township Board meeting agenda. However, the Township Board will meet again in 2 weeks. I have no personal agenda against the owners of Northville Downs or anyone associated with horse racing. I realize people have to make a living. But for our township residents, I am here to make sure the law is being followed and to help determine if the law is in need of revision to ensure the best interests of Michigan are represented before this gaming facility begins construction. Here's my layperson's overview of why this is a policy matter that belongs before this board. Northville Downs should not qualify for an exemption from the Michigan Gaming Act, should not get a pass as they move to another municipality, as they should be subject to the rules for opening up a gaming facility in the state of Michigan. Even if Northville Downs technically meets the number of live horse racing days and the minimum number of races per racing day as required by the horse racing law, the preponderance of data reveals this is actually a gaming facility, or casino that should be subject to the same public protections applied in the course of regulating casinos. I say this because the 2022 horse racing report of this very body documents that wagering on live horse racing accounted for less than 4% of wagers at Northville Downs. This low level of wagering on live horse races has been consistent for a decade or more. Northville Downs cannot sustain itself on live horse racing alone, and the horse racing law, meet rate stay requirements, has not stemmed the decline in wagers on live horse racing. Furthermore, consistent with national trends, horse racing has been in decline in our state for several decades. This was even documented by the legislature itself in a report by the House Fiscal Agency in 2017. In fact, the latest attempt at taxpayer-subsidized horse racing in Michigan, the Pinnacle Horse Racetrack in Huron Township in 2008, failed and left our county and Huron Township with tens of millions of dollars of debt. Nonetheless, my focus here today is on the role of this board and the application of exemption criteria. Horse racing's decline for numerous reasons in this country has been clearly documented, and government subsidies to prop up this industry have not changed the fact that gamblers are known to be less and less likely to bet on live horse races. As we know, this is likely due to a number of reasons, including the availability of other gaming options to gamblers in state like ours. To demonstrate, I am leaving you with several references from other states where increased public subsidies have done little to nothing to help make this industry economically viable with value add to the community. Therefore, any legislation to increase subsidies to this industry is a grave misappropriation of taxpayer dollars. Laws can change, and therefore historical horse racing or other forms of gambling should not be allowed, as they have not proven to help the outcomes for this industry. In conclusion, I am asking that this board, which was created again to protect the public interest as it relates to gambling, quickly investigate the details of the impending development in Plymouth Township to 1, determine if the long-recorded historical wagering at Northville Downs, with consistently a minimal 4% wagered on live horse racing, still allows this development to be exempt from the Michigan Gaming Act. If you determine, based on the historical preponderance of data, that Northville Downs no longer is exempt, then it should be immediately subject to the rules to build a gaming facility, casino, as outlined in the Gaming Act. Or if you determine the Michigan law in this regard is antiquated and in need of amendments to protect the public interest, I am asking the board to quickly intervene prior to Plymouth Township's January 23rd Board of Trustees meeting to delay this development. Because in conclusion, at a minimum, residents in Plymouth Township or any other municipality in the state of Michigan should have a say by vote in whether this casino, which it is, should be allowed in their community. I am asking you again to please take this matter up urgently. Thank you for your time today. I can make myself and other residents in the township available for questions as needed.
Thank you for your comments. Are there any other public comments?
There are no additional comments.
Thank you so much. Okay, we'll move on to, yes.
On this matter,
Yes.
this board serves as an advisor to me as it relates to anything related to horse racing. This board doesn't have any regulatory oversight of horse racing. If the AG would like to add anything to that, you can. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you for the clarity. Thank you. Okay. The board's next scheduled public meeting will be Tuesday, February 13th at 2024 at 9:30 a.m. Next, we will consider a motion to go into closed session pursuant to Section 8E and 8H of the Open Meetings Act. This is to receive notification of persons placed on the disassociated persons list since the board's last closed session. And since the board's December 12, 2023 public meeting, several applications have been received from individuals requesting to be placed on the board's disassociated persons list as part of their treatment for compulsive gambling problems under Section 25 of the Michigan Gaming Control and Revenue Act. The Act and Board Resolution Number 2001-06 required the board to be provided with confidential notification of the names of all individuals placed on the disassociated persons list since the board's last closed session. Board Member Palms, may we please have a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Is there support for the motion?
Support.
It's been moved and supported. I'd like to ask Ms. Coble to take a roll call vote on the motion.
On the motion to go into closed session following this portion of today's public meeting, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Chair Member Forte,
Aye.
Board Member Palms,
Aye.
Board Member Thrower Davis.
Aye.
Thank you. We will now proceed to closed session. Okay, we'd like to resume the open meeting, and we'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the board's December 12, 2023 closed session. Board members have been provided with a copy of the prepared minutes of the board's last closed session, which was held on December 12, 2023. Do board members have any corrections, additions, or deletions to the prepared minutes?
No.
Okay. Board Member Thrower Davis, may we please have a motion to accept the prepared minutes?
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion has passed. And Board Member Palms, may we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Is there support?
Support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 That motion is passed, and we are adjourned. Thank you.